Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to another episode of DCC Immigration. The year 2020 has changed the world a lot. Not just the way how we live our lives, but the year was also a turning point for Canadian immigration. The coronavirus pandemic and its impact on Canada's immigration in the year 2020 meant that the country could not meet its planned immigration target. While Canada had targeted the arrival of 341,000 permanent residents in its pre-pandemic immigration level plans, but the country fell well short of that target as travel restrictions were in place for most of the year. However, on the bright side, the immigration level plans for next 3 years have been revised and Canada now plans to welcome 1.2 million permanent residents over the next 3 years. In this video, I would be talking about some of the major pros and cons of life in post-pandemic Canada. So if you are also planning to move to Canada this year, then this video would surely provide you with a lot of insights. First of all, let us take a look at the initial step, which is the immigration process itself. We all know that express entry has been one of the most popular routes through which people have been immigrating to Canada since 2015 when the system was first introduced. However, 2020 proved to be a disappointing year for candidates as the travel restrictions and lack of all program draws saw the cutoff score remain above the 470 mark for most of the year. The express entry point system has been designed in a way that candidates who do not have Canadian education or Canadian work experience have very little chance of reaching close to 470, which meant that most of the candidates who received an invitation to apply in 2020 through the express entry system were those who were already in Canada on a temporary status. I have been talking to a lot of people who are in the express entry pool with scores in the range of 450s and 460s, but have lost all hope of receiving an invitation to apply. However, it must be remembered that future immigration targets have been increased to historic levels, which means that there will be bigger and more frequent draws in 2021, and the cutoff score will slowly but surely come down. Also, there have been a number of new programs announced over the past few weeks which promise to provide more permanent residence pathways for prospective immigrants. To sum it up, the Canadian immigration process is going to become much easier than what it was in 2020. The second thing we must look at is property rentals, as the first thing that new immigrants look for when they come to Canada is a place to stay. Until the first quarter of 2020, rentals in the Greater Toronto area had been rising steadily, and it was very difficult for new immigrants to afford a decent accommodation. However, since the coronavirus pandemic hit, rentals in some parts of Canada have dropped by as much as 20%, and a one-bedroom condo apartment which was available for around 2,200 Canadian dollars till a few months ago can now be rented for as low as $1,800 per month. There is oversupply in the market and rentals are not expected to pick up a lot even in 2021, so new immigrants can expect to save a lot of money on rentals. On the other hand, owning a house is becoming more and more expensive, and the sale price of houses in major cities of Canada are rising exponentially. According to a recent report, home prices in the GTA increased by over 11% in the third quarter of 2020 alone. The price increase is expected to continue this year, and owning your house is going to become more difficult in 2021. The next important thing on every new immigrant's mind is the job market. When the coronavirus pandemic initially hit Canada and a strict lockdown was imposed, it impacted the job market a great deal, and unemployment figures rose up to historic levels of more than 15%. However, things have been becoming better in the second half of the year, and unemployment figures now stand at a little less than 9%. Although this figure is still relatively high, but the job market recovery is expected to continue in 2021, and new immigrants can expect to find employment much faster. Especially if you are in the information technology field, then there is good news for you, as new openings are coming to the market almost every day, and average salaries for IT professionals are also increasing. Overall, the Canadian job market is expected to be in a much better shape than 2020, and new immigrants will have many more and better opportunities to look forward to this year. The next factor to consider is living expenses. If you are living in a major Canadian city like Toronto, Vancouver, or Montreal, then a majority of your monthly expenses will go towards paying your house rent. However, leaving that aside, the cost of living, such as groceries, utility bills, and other household expenses, are not anything that would burn a hole in your pocket. The rate of inflation is expected to be in line with the past few years. Recreation, which includes eating out and probably watching a movie, are expected to become cheaper, as the recreation industry would try to rebound from the impacts of the pandemic by giving added incentives to people. Although flight tickets are very cheap at the moment, but travel is expected to become costlier once we return to anything close to normal, and immigrants are expected to shell out much more for flight tickets than what we were witnessing in the pre-pandemic era. Overall, taking into consideration all of the previously mentioned factors, year 2021 is expected to be much better for Canadian immigration and new immigrants. So if you are planning to immigrate to Canada, then this year could be the best time to do so. For any guidance or advice on this subject, you can always get in touch with the experienced team at DCC Immigration. If you like this video, then do press the like and share button. I will see you in another video soon. Till then, goodbye and stay safe.